Claude now allows you to record a skill, and I think it might be the most underrated feature of the year. It essentially allows you to automate any task by just recording it, and after using it for a couple of weeks, I'm convinced it's the future of building skills and will fundamentally change the way we automate tasks. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how it works and why you need to use it, show you 4 best practices to apply to actually build reliable skills with it, and I'll show you a live demo of how I've been using it to automate my tasks. So if you're still unfamiliar with this feature, inside of the Claude desktop in the Co-work tab, if you click on the plus icon here, you now have an option that's called record a skill. It basically records your screen, all the clicks you make, what you type, and most importantly, your voice. So when I click start recording, I can just walk through any of my daily repetitive tasks. For example, how I would clean my email inbox, talk through what I do and why I'm taking different actions, just like I would do onboarding an employee or an intern on a new task. And when I click done, Claude transforms this into a reusable skill so it can automate that task for you. For example, I did this to create a Gmail inbox triaging skill that helps me clean up and organize my inbox. You can see my narration here of the recording, all the screenshots of the actions that I've taken, and Claude then built me this Gmail inbox triage skill that I've been running automatically daily now, and it's actually working really well. Now, me and my team have been building skills with this new feature over the last weeks, and I really believe this is the most efficient way to build your skills and to automate tasks. But I also learned that you need to follow some best practices to actually get good results out of this feature. So before showing you a live demo, let me quickly cover these and show you why, if you apply them, this is the most efficient way to build your skills. Now, the reason I believe this is a far more efficient way to build skills instead of prompting for most use cases is because of a concept called Polanyi's paradox, which comes from a book by Michael Polanyi, a scientist who studied how expertise works. And what he found is that the more you do something, the more it becomes automatic and the more knowledge you have in your head that you can't actually put into words. Simply put, we know more than we can tell or articulate. So when you try to build a skill by just prompting a process into Claude, you often end up describing a process that doesn't include the edge cases and all the little rules you can only really articulate when you see them. For example, I have some hard rules in my head for what to do with each type of email, but there are edge cases and nuances that are hard to put into words unless I see them. So instead of trying to remember and explain your process to Claude, you just do it, and Claude understands by actually seeing what you do, including the edge cases and the nuances that are hard to articulate. In essence, it's the show, don't tell principle, which is also by far the most efficient way humans learn how to do something. Now, I'll show you a live demo in a second, but let me cover some best practices that I've found are important to apply to actually automate work reliably with this feature. Now, the first one, which applies to skill building in general and is a common mistake people make, is you want to start with a small scope. Don't try to automate an entire 30-minute process inside of one skill or inside of one recording, because it often just leads to bad skills. So generally, when automating tasks with AI and when you're building skills, you want to have an MVP approach, a minimum viable product approach. You want to start small and expand from there. You can always add to the skill later or create new skills that you run after each other. And the way I like to think about it is, what's the smallest part of the process you're trying to automate that would still give you value, and you only start with that and then expand from there. Now, secondly, you do need to do some planning. Now, what do you need to plan? First, you just want to make sure that you have all the tabs or softwares open that you're going to use for this task. So you're not hip hopping between unrelated tabs or softwares, which might confuse Claude and will affect the quality of your skill. Second, you want to clearly communicate the goal at the start of your recording and what you're going to do, because this puts everything else in more context for Claude. And this is the part where you really want to think about for a second, maybe write it out quickly, and then just say it out loud inside of the recording. I'll show you an example of that in my demo in a second. And thirdly, of course, you want to have an idea of what you're going to do. You can ramble a bit in the recording. It doesn't matter. You can still correct yourself also inside of the recording, but you do sort of want to have an idea of what you're going to do, which honestly should be the easiest step if this is a repetitive task for you. Now, thirdly, you want to make sure you narrate everything you're doing. And the easiest way to think about it is about teaching an intern live how he would have to do this task. And the important mindset to have here is, don't just tell what to do, tell why you do it. That's really, in my experience, one of the most important things in order to get great skills out of this feature. And then lastly, even though this feature is going to get you to far better skills a lot faster, building skills and automating processes is always an iterative process, just like onboarding an employee or an intern is. They need to do the task, get some feedback a couple of times in order to completely take this out of your hands. So after building your initial skill, you want to run the skill and then use this same feature to review what it's done, give feedback, corrections, just like you would do with a human. So it can optimize this skill really fast. And using this recording feature to do it is a far more efficient way to optimize and improve your skills in my experience, including for the ones you already use or have maybe built before. Now, before showing you a demo, very quickly, if you enjoy this type of content, you'll really enjoy my AI Accelerator, where I just launched 3 new beginner to advanced Claude courses that walk you through step by step how to actually make Claude and AI useful for you as a non-technical professional or business owner. We also have unlimited one-on-one live tech help to help you with any problems you might be facing, and a big library of skills and plugins across all business departments that you can use and customize for yourself. So if you want to dive deeper into AI and actually start automating work with it, you can check it out in the first link in the description below. I'll show you an example of how I would use this feature to build an email triaging skill, and I'll just do the process live so you can see sort of how it works and how I would do it. So all I do is click here on record a skill, and of course, first I'll sort of explain the goal and what it should do to Claude before actually doing it. So I can just click start record, and then I want to build a skill that helps me organize my email inbox. As you can see, my email inbox fills up pretty quick. Now, I'm going to walk you through how I would do this myself so you get more context on what to do with each type of email. The goal will be basically, depending on the type of email, to either mark unimportant emails as red to clean it up for me, flag emails that likely need a response from me or seem to be important, and for those maybe even write a draft response in my tone of voice using my voice skill and add that as a draft reply inside of the inbox so I can later go in and maybe send it or adjust it. And also those important emails, you want to keep those unread so I know I have to read them. Then thirdly, some types of emails need to be labeled. For example, partnership emails. And lastly, some type of emails need to be forwarded. So let me just walk you through my inbox so you get an idea of what to do with each type of email. So the first email you can see here is someone that applied to our hiring form. Now, in this case, we do want to quickly respond to this guy and thanking him for applying and telling him that we'll get back to him after we've reviewed his application. So it's not a very common email I get, but sometimes I do. This is a very common one I get, which is a paid collaboration. At the moment, I'm not doing any paid collaboration for my YouTube channel, but I do sometimes look through them. So for these types of emails, I want you to label them as partnerships like this, and then I can later go through them to check if there are any interesting partnerships. Then for notifications from software, for example, your RunPod or your calendar invite, you can generally just mark them as red, unless, of course, there's something that seems to be really important or urgent, like some open payment, etc. So these two I can just mark as red. Then this is another partnership request. So I can just label this. This is another notification, another partnership request, notification, another partnership request. Now, this is another type of email I sometimes get, which is someone who's interested basically in learning more about one of my businesses, whether that's my AI Accelerator, my AI Operator program, or my AI agency. Now, for these types of emails, you always want to forward them to my co-founder, Oscar at Ben AI, so he can respond and maybe jump on a sales call or help him resolve his questions. So you want to always forward these emails to Oscar at benai.co. Then another type of email like this one you can often see is people replying to my newsletter. You can often identify them through this. And of course, inside of the history, you'll see that it is a newsletter from me. Now, in this case, sometimes you can just mark them as read as if they're not really, asking anything or etc. You have to sort of read the room here. Sometimes they're asking a question or give genuine feedback. Then, of course, we want to sort of actually respond to this email. So in this case, you can help me draft a response and add it as a reply in my inbox. And again, leave it as unread. So I know I have to review the reply, maybe adjust it a bit, and then I can send it out. For example, you can see here's another one here. And these really don't really need any replies because it's just, yes, I want it. And sometimes you see emails from myself. This is just to send me myself a bank statement or something like this. Those you can also just mark as read, as I've already done something with it. These are also email replies, notifications. Now here, for example, we have a cold email. Now, cold emails, I generally don't do anything with people selling services. I'm not looking for anything right now. So you can generally just mark them as read. Maybe if they send 4 like this, you can actually draft a reply and just tell them unsubscribe so they don't email us further. And then sometimes I also get newsletters like this one that I'm subscribed to. For newsletters, you can also just mark them, label them as need to read. Again, so we just clean up the inbox. Sometimes I do want to read these newsletters I'm subscribed to, so I can just go into that tab whenever I want to actually read the newsletters. But you can clean them up and add them into need to read, so you can just mark them as read. Now that's it. Also, I want you to give a report with everything you've done, flag all the important emails I have to get back to at the top, and I want to schedule this skill to run automatically every day at 9 a.m. And when you're building the skill, please run a test so we can review if it actually works. Again, never actually send emails directly, only add draft replies so I can check them after and adjust things before actually sending them out. And now, Claude, based on this entire transcript, as you can see, and the recording, it was actually going to start building the skill and run the test. So you can see for the one I built earlier, it actually did a test run, which I then recommend to basically use that same feature to review this, make all the corrections about what it did wrong, what it did well, etc. So you can immediately optimize the skill, because almost always you need to do this at least once in order to get your skill working reliably. And as you can see, there are a lot of little nuances that I could have never really thought of if I didn't actually do it and see real emails. So the nice thing is that all of these little nuances are now embedded directly into that skill. And in my experience, it just results in far better skills than you get with pure prompting. If it needs some clarifications, it will also ask you some questions, and it will also suggest a specific connector to use to actually execute this skill on. Because if it doesn't have a connector, we'll use the browser, but I highly recommend to have a connector to access that software, because it's going to be a far more efficient skill. But it will usually come up with that and suggest a specific connector to you as soon as it analyzed the transcript. So in my case, it's going to use the Gmail connector to actually do all of these actions, which will be far more efficient than using the browser. Now, I highly recommend exploring and trying out this feature, because it can really help you automate your tasks fast. And again, if you want to dive deeper into AI, definitely check out my AI Accelerator, where we have full Claude courses from beginner to advanced, a big library of skills and plugins for all business departments, and unlimited one-on-one live tech help. So definitely check it out if you're interested in diving deeper into AI. And also, if you want to take your skills really to the next level, you need to make sure your skill files are optimized according to best practices too. So if you want to learn how to do that, you can check out the video here above.